I'll be right back. Ladies and gents, I am actually going outside because I left something in my car. I wanted to show you guys. Why are you so nosy? Talking to my husband, y'all. You coming to see what I left in the car? All right. I will. That right there. Bring this over here. All right. So I have like 38 people in here now. So I normally do what I've been doing the week. I'm only going to tell you right now what I did Thursday evening. And that is we had Quill Guild meeting. And we have what we call for the month of August a free for all, where any member can bring anything that they no longer want. And then they put it on the table for sale. And then at the end, what you don't sell, you have to pick up, or you can donate it to charity quilts or anything like that. So one lady had all of these items, if I'm not mistaken, on the table. And she went and picked it up. She was sitting at the table with me at the meeting. So she came back. Where is my piece? That was right there. Okay, I lost a piece. Let me scoot these up. I've already lost a piece, a blue one. I got to figure out what that was. It was a blue-green one, if I'm not. It's on the floor. I see it. It's weird how I remember what color it was. But anyway, for the people that showed up early today, if you're interested in some fall scraps, I will tell you what to do, but I want to make sure somebody is wanting this stuff. So I'm trying to let you see the fabrics, but I'm not doing like a fabric haul. Okay. Um, this here is, don't put anything in the chat now because I'm not going by that. I'm going to tell you what to do. um, this one here. And then this has like fall, like apples and stuff, like apple picking outside. So all of this is like more fall stuff to me. This is all wine country stuff. This is more of that. This is a different print that's still wine related. I don't do a whole lot of fall quilts. This is Chateau de Isan. I guess, oh, this is corks. So these are corks. And this last one is wine related as well. So this fabric here, if you're somebody that would use this, in the chat for the next minute, write the word wine. And then I'm just going to go up and down a few times, turn my head somewhere else. And then whoever my finger lands on, that's who I will put in there to receive this. I asked her if it was okay if I gave it to one of my YouTube subscribers, and she said yes. So that's what I am doing. So if anybody is interested in these fabrics, let me know. Because she figured like the most quilts that we make, they're for children, so you don't make children wine quilts. And so she was basically going to pitch it because she said, I really don't have a whole lot to donate other than that. And so she was going to pitch it. I go, no, let me see if somebody in my YouTube channel will take it. So she donated. So this is not from me, but I will be paying for the shipping if you are interested. So just let me know. All right. All right. Let's go up here. Darcy Savali is here reminding you all to hit the thumbs up. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel and then hit the bell for notifications. Also, I'm live Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for 1 hour live chat. On Saturdays, I'm live for 2 hours for live sew and chat. And then we also have a Facebook page that's Teaquilts LLC. Also, go over there and join that. You can share your projects over there. And I do have like 4 questions that you have to answer before you gain admissions. If you don't see them, just go back out, try to enter the group again, and then it should pop up that you need to answer the membership questions. If you just join Facebook like in 2025 or 2026, you're not going to get in if you don't answer those questions, okay? Hi, Delia C. Short, Shelly Van Slikey. Vivian Calvi. Oh, and I forgot to pin this one. Hold on, guys. Pin that message. And then I also need to make sure that I can see all the messages because it will filter the messages otherwise. All right. Going back to the top, y'all. Kevin the Quilter is here. Got to see him today at Scrao Quilting Club in person in St. Louis. Frances Jackson's here. Says she has paid the rent at the door, which means she has hit the thumbs up button. Have you? If you haven't hit the thumbs up button, could you please hit the thumbs up button for me, please? I would really appreciate it. Joy Creations says everything is well in Queens, New York. Minnie Dula welcomes Claudette Hall. Let's see. Clovis Gardner, I think I said that one already. Deborah Sims Brown. Nikki B. Quilts. Went by Rooster Creek in New Bloomfield today. They were closing at the end of October. I heard about that. I was really shocked. Joanne Parker. That's kind of what happened with family businesses, especially if no one in your family is interested in taking over. So, Joanne Parker, welcome. Suzette Peterkin Denton, welcome to the chat. And Renee White, Carol Williams. Okay, so I got Minnie and Jeanette and Suzette and Donnette. So I got 4. Hi, Karen Menier and Holly Duvall. And Wanda Jamerson. Uh-oh, I gotta go down some more. Oh, it didn't go down. It wouldn't scroll. So let me go back up. Then when I hit it, it jumped all the way to the bottom. Hey, Sheila Willis. What did Holly say? Good evening, all. Hope I can't stay on this storm in here and internet is intermittent at best. Sorry, Holly. We'll see you next time. Shelly S5 is here. Melinda C is here. Says she paid her rent as well. Thank you, ma'am. Sharon Lewis is in the chat. Sharon, I got your envelope today as well. Haven't had time to open it yet. Let's see. I had, so that's that. So let me go back up to this area. I think what I'm going to do, because it's only 4, is I'll just do a little, this is paper from working on the, what was I working on? See, I need a D and a J and S, and it was one more. My screen jumped, y'all. I guess more messages must have come in. Okay. It won't let me go all the way back up to the front for some reason now. Okay, let me see if I can find it. It was an M. I know who it is now. It was some M. All right. I got trash in this bucket, but I'm going to just toss them in there. I'm going to leave them all flat so nobody has an advantage. I'm wondering why I can't get my bag because I stuck the scissors. I stuck it into the scissors. All right, so let me go ahead and put these 4 pieces of paper in here. Shake them up in the bag. And then I'm going back to the bottom. Hi, Diane McCoy. Welcome, welcome. All right, who won the fabric? I'm just going to call it wine and fall fabric. The initial is S. Y'all, I have a feeling that Suzette Peterkin Denton is a lucky person because she won another drawing that I had. And then I sent her some fabric. But Suzette, you won the fabric, so I will be sending it to you. Now I can put all of this trash in here. And I can write her name on this and stick it in a stack. I don't know if this is S. It's not writing with that. This is so fat. All right. Now, it's all just sitting here. But what I'm going to do, this one, well, she has it stapled. I thought I was going to be able, I can slip it in here maybe. And hopefully it don't fall out. So I remember. So I'll get that in the mail the next time I go to the post office. She's talking about Yippee. Diane says, thank you, T and Darcy and Delia. So everybody, let's see what I've done since Wednesday. So we can back up now. So I can welcome everybody now to the chat that I've got business out the way because I didn't want to hold that because I just wanted to get rid of it. And I wanted to give out something tonight. So that's what I wanted to do. So I had to go out to the car and get it because I forgot and left it in there. I told you all on Wednesday that my long arm machine was not working and it broke on me, say, Monday morning, like early in Monday morning. I'm trying to figure it out because when it broke Monday, I was up in the middle of the night doing my thing like I normally do. And I tried fixing it for like 3 to 4 hours in the middle of the night. And then I went to bed because now I'm mad it's not working, knowing that I gotta call somebody about it, or I can try again later. So I woke up the next day. I probably went to bed about 4, woke up the next day about 12, and I laid in bed. And I decided that I was not finna be bothered with that machine all day on Monday. So it sat all day on Monday. I did absolutely nothing. I did not even make a phone call. I didn't want to discuss it. So then on Tuesday, the next day, I must not have still wanted to be bothered with it. So I didn't even start making phone calls until about 1 p.m., 1:30, somewhere in that neighborhood. And the guy was trying to talk me through how to fix the long arm. And I knew what I needed to do, but for some reason the process wasn't working. And it never did dawn on me why it wasn't working. And eventually, while I'm talking to him, I realized that my actual hopper foot is kind of twisted too, because it's close to the needle hole, and it shouldn't be. It should be a 1/4 inch all the way around. And then he was saying, is it the hopper foot that's crooked or is it the needle? Because he was thinking the needle bar got knocked out. And he said, is it the needle bar? So he says, can you put the needle down and see if it's centered in the hole? So I was able to put the needle into the hole, but I couldn't see if it was centered because I had the hopper foot is round all the way around. Well, I have different hopper feet. That I have one that's kind of like an open toe hopper foot. So I put that on so that I could see. And I go, no, the needle is actually centered into the hole. So it's not that, it's actually the foot. So I could see everything once I put on the open toe foot. So I have my timings off and I have the hopper foot. And when I realized that I had the hopper foot all screwed up too, and it's through another porthole, the way you fix gammels is you got to enter through access points on some of the repairs. And I know exactly what I need to do. I can see it, but I can't get the screwdriver on it. And then as I'm talking to him on the phone, I start realizing the reason why you can't do this is because you're left-handed. And all of these access points that I'm going into are all for right-handed people. So if you put your right hand in, you can do it. But I have no dexterity, not enough to be going through a porthole trying to find a flathead screw, which to me, they should be a different type of screw so that it's easier for you to land on, and not necessarily a Phillips, because a Phillips strips out easy, but maybe one of those, I forget what you call them now, like the star bits or something like that, where it will hook in and then you in there and then you can go ahead and do your maneuvering. I think sometimes people make stuff for us that's more difficult for us to fix so that we have to call them. Okay. So that's what I think happened there. But anyway, while I was on the phone talking to him, this was Tuesday. Now it's about 2 o'clock because he's been on the phone with me for a minute now trying to get me to get this machine fixed. So he's not making a dime, okay? At this point. And then I just told him, I said, you know what? Would you just like to come fix my machine? And he said, he come. He said, when? I said, whenever you want. He said, I can come now. And I looked at the clock and it's a little bit after 2. And I go, you don't even work this time of day. You close your shop at 3. So it was going to take him, I don't know, it was going to be slightly over an hour from where he lives to come to my house. So it's already after 2. This man's shop closed at 3. There is no way I'm finna pull him out to come work on my machine this late in the evening. And then he's going to be all up in this rush hour traffic both ways. So I said, why don't you just come tomorrow? You can wait until after morning rush hour traffic. Then you drive across, because we got Highway 270 here. It's a interstate. And that they act a plumb fool on that road, okay? And so it's just best to come before the bad people wake up and before the and after people go to work. It's the best time to use that highway. So that's why I'm very strategic about planning stuff. It's not that I don't drive other times of the day, but if I know I'm doing my routine stuff, I try to do it during a particular time. So, but yeah. So he ended up coming on Wednesday, and they had this machine together and did some extra things that I asked him to do in about an hour and a half. Whereas I was like 3, 4 hours in the morning, about another 45 minutes with him on the phone, stressed and frustrated. And they just work it out. And I'm going to tell you, they didn't go straight to it either. And every time I was trying to use my left hand, I was going at it at the wrong angle. So that's what the problem was. And when I used my right hand, I didn't have the dexterity and strength to get into that particular portal so that I can get the screwdriver at the right angle and put enough pressure on it once I got on it to know. And then trying to find the flat head of the screwdriver, to the slot, of a flat head screw, trying to find that. But yeah, it was something else, y'all. But I'd rather pay for somebody. My time is very important to me. I don't know if anybody else is like me, but I've already spent 4 hours, another hour on the phone. My time is important to me, and sometimes I'll just pay people so that my time's not being zapped. Everything that they done, I could have done, except that it's made for a right-handed person. And I've been into all of those spots before, but for some reason, and it could be because of I've aged. I realized when I was talking with those guys that I've had my machine now 10 years. And so when I was younger and I was also in the workforce, I think I was using both hands a lot more. And I think since I've been retired, since I'm not like typing on a regular basis, I'm not lifting stuff all the time, moving stuff, working with special projects and all this other kind of stuff, I don't use my right hand as much as I used to. And so this right hand's just over here, just, living its best life. Okay. It don't want to do diddly squat. So yeah. That's machine it got fixed Wednesday. No, Thursday. My machine got fixed Thursday. I'm sorry. It wasn't Wednesday because I didn't call him to Thursday. It got fixed Thursday. Same day I went to the Gill. And I finally got the large quilt that I was quilting off the frame, but it just took a minute. I had to, I had to redo tension and all of that stuff because it knocked the timing out of whack. I then had them change my springs, and they took some other piece off that he said I didn't need. That was just there, but he gave it to me. Say, if you ever call for a Gammo to come work on, and make sure that you give them this piece so that they don't charge you for it. So, hi, Melinda C. Welcome to the chat. Let's see. Got Diane. I might have got Melinda C. Hey, Loretta with metal digging. No, keep digging, metal detecting. uh, uh, can I do the Bargello technique around a panel? I guess so, but well, I don't, unless you're going to be putting the same strip together because your panel's going to be long. Because you got to have your strips. You're going to be cutting a panel. You sew strips together. I don't know. I've never done that. I imagine you can. I probably would do it where I wasn't cutting the panel and I just cut stuff around the panel, which means I would be doing strategic strip setting to get it to do that. But that's a whole nother issue. I don't even think I can explain it because I don't think I would want to cut the panel. Hi, Lana Dean. Welcome to the chat. And I think I got, oh, Bonita Nance is in here. I don't remember saying her name, but I could have. But yeah, welcome everybody to the chat. I don't brought my whole car keys back up in here, y'all. So I have not done any sewing in here. When that machine broke, I just took off too. Because when you feel like you're stressed, but you're outwardly calm, and I stayed outwardly calm, but I knew that if too many things went wrong in my day, that I was going to probably spaz out. So in order for me to prevent doing that, I decided to do nothing for a few days. And then, having my guild meeting as well. So then I had some stuff I needed to do for that. One thing that's, oops, I got the wrong thing. One thing that's nice. I'm trying to get my fabric, y'all, that I dropped. Let me use I gotta get it. My arm ain't that long. Okay. Um, Purple, purple, blue, blue. Um, I am not on a committee this year, not an official committee. I am gonna help with quilt show next year, next September, not this September. We're going to have a quilt show and I'm going to do the vendors. That's all I'm going to do. And I told her, I said, most times when you're doing vending, you also want somebody that's in the guild that's a vendor. If because you need somebody to kind of stay over in that area in case the vendors need help, then that way you don't have somebody that don't want to be over there all day. You got somebody that's over there that the vendors always have somebody that they can talk to. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the vendor since I'm going to be vending anyway. What is Bonita doing? That Kevin's telling her to tell Shaquita hi. They going on a trip or something? Okay, so I am working on a project that I'm not really sharing the name because it's part of Scrap Quilting Club via Zoom project. And so they pay for that. And so I don't give those projects out while we're in, especially while we're in the process of doing it. And so I'm just sewing. Okay. So you all sew with me. You can let me know what you're working on. Darcy is reminding you guys, if you haven't hit the thumbs up button, to go ahead and hit it. Bonita says, I finally completed my last quilt of 2025 Zoom Scrap Club. Yeah, I saw you posted it. It's pretty cool. And that one was more stressful. I think it was the most stressful of all the projects last year because it looked like it was going to be easy. And then you had to make sure you had all this stuff turned and cut the right way. Because if you cut wrong, that would affect it too. So I tried to do all my cutting and all my particular types of piecing at the same time so that if I messed it all up, then it would all be reversed. Okay. But yeah. Kevin, he's so funny. He can't wait to put what he's working on. I am working on a top secret project for Teaquilts LLC Retreat 2027. That's what he's working on. um, Lana says, I sent you a package last week. I thought you would have it by now. I check for packages. Uh, let me say this because Yolanda says she sent something for my birthday the last week of July. And I checked, so I asked the nice girls who know who I am and they don't mind doing their job. I asked the girls at the counter, not the people that come open the door to give us our mail. I asked one of the girls at the counter if she would go check my mail for me, and she did. There was nothing on the shelf. And I said, what if it had been delivered the end of July? She says, normally with P.O. Box mail, we leave it. We don't send it back because you've paid for a P.O. Box. It's like your home address mail that you don't come pick up, we couldn't deliver, it needs a signature, we send that type of stuff back. I said, okay, so that's great to know. When you send me a package, it would be really nice if you send me the tracking number, or you need to follow up on that tracking number, because I don't know you're sending me something, so I don't know to be looking and harassing them. And I looks like I'm missing 2 packages. I don't know what date you mailed it, Lana, but if anybody sends anything, make sure that you send me the tracking number via email. If you got my phone number, you can send it to me in a text. But I have no way of checking. All I can do is go up and ask them at the counter. And then their next question to me is, do you have a tracking number? And I go, no, because it wasn't provided. And I've even asked in emails for tracking number, and I don't get any response back. And I don't know if that's because my email is not going out or is not available. But when you first do it, you have it available. So just go ahead. I know sometimes you all would like to surprise me, but I'm telling you, with the U.S. postal system, you can't surprise people. You want to surprise somebody, you're gonna have to use UPS or FedEx. UPS, the United States Postal Service, is not it, unfortunately, right now, and that's because I feel like they're wanting it to fail. So, Delia said Kevin's being a tease. um. And he laughing at y'all too. Hey Ray, welcome to the chat. Hey Claudette Bettis, welcome as well. Border for exploding. Minnie is working on the border for the exploding star in the sew together bag. So that's cool. I haven't made a sew together bag because I already got one, but it sure is pretty. But I did buy myself a pattern, but I haven't worked on it. Darcy is working on her cross stitch project. I have scissors and 2 more pin holders. When I get it done, I will show you what it looks like. So that's cool, cool, cool. So yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm working on like pieces that I'm sewing together. This is the bottom. It doesn't matter which one I sew first. This is the bottom of the strip. But what I'm doing is for the next 1, 2, 3, maybe 3 strips, I just need to sew these pieces together. I don't even have water in here, and I'm hitting the mic, y'all. I'm sorry. It's up too high. Or I need to put it on the other side, but then I have a feeling I'm going to be turning this way when it's time for me to look that way, because I'm going to be doing a lot of looking that way to pull fabric. So I'm just checking because I know mail from Lawrenceville is a hot mess. So that's why I was just checking. Yeah. So make sure you all check when you send packages. Most packages are going to have a tracking number. They don't have to be priority mail now to have a tracking number. So make sure you all check your tracking numbers and things like that. So I hope I don't need, I didn't check this machine. I think I cleaned it right before because I had ran out. And so I think I have thread, but if it runs out, we'll fix it. It'll just slow us down a little bit. Oh, what did I do with the back? Oh, I didn't put it back right because I didn't put the scissors back through it. The scissors keeps it from falling off. My little thread bag. Okay. So this is the bottom one. These are the top. So I'm basically just sewing the same thing to put on top and bottom of the strip that I have semi-started piecing, but just to keep everything in order. I was going to take this to Scrap Club, and then I decided I changed how I was going to lay it out. And I said, girl, don't take it. Just work on it row by row. So that's what I'm doing, is working row by row. Let me get these two off so I don't mix up the order. This is the bottom. Of the next row. I only got like 5 rows sewn, y'all, because I haven't worked on it. And I'm not going to be working on it when I get off of here either, because I'm trying to, I've pulled like 4 quilt tops that I want to quilt. And so I'm going to be working on that. That's blue. This is purple. This is the top. And that's going into green. So sometimes I lay some pieces. I got some loose pieces on the board, but every once in a while I just sit here and put some pieces together. So then I have to, figure it out. I'm still waiting for Miss T to tell you all how mean she was to poor innocent me today at Scrap Club. A quarter for who gets the answer, who you think that message is from. Okay? Talking about poor Kevin. Hi, Joyce Sterling. Welcome to the chat. Thank you, Lana. Okay, so I got those sewed. I've got the next stack over there, but what I'm going to do is go ahead and get what I'm putting that on. I want to see if I can get my little small board, my little small rotating mat, because I'm only cutting a couple pieces at a time. And okay, so that's correct. All right, so this goes on the bottom. And the other piece goes on top. And I'm not even really worried about pressing them at this point. We just need to sew some stuff so we can sew some rows at some point. And this one goes at the top. Now this one goes close. Wait a minute. This is yellow. Okay. I thought I had 2 greens, but that's considered a yellow. I was running out of yellows and was using some of the yellow greens or green yellows instead of yellow green. Is more of a green yellow as a green. All right. So I got numbers on them, so it doesn't matter. Well, I guess it does matter because I'll be putting the next piece next to it. I don't have to press again. I can just go put this back on the wall so I know what colors I've used. And we're going to get these pieces for the row on the other side. I'll take this. So I have to, I'm using my design wall this time. So I'm back and forth. Back and forth. Sometimes I say particular word phrases and then the song pops in my head. And I don't have that part ready, but I am going to stick that on the top. This was on the top. Just want to make sure it's the right thing. I actually got 3 fossil ferns in a row. I was trying not to do that, but that's okay too. The color work. That's the main thing. All right, so now I need purple on the bottom. And on this particular row is 2 purples. These are going in the next rows. In the next rows. Okay, and all I do is I just take whatever purples I have, look what's on the board, and I'm trying not to pick the same thing. So we'll do this one and this one. Well, no, I can't do that one because I'm going to be using it in a minute. Trying to make sure I don't use the ones that I have some pieces that I pre-pieced and I prematurely pieced and they were in the wrong spot. They needed to go on the next row. So I'm trying to make sure I use them in the right spot. Okay, I need a purple that's not been used yet. And I may have to end up like cutting more stuff too. This is the same fabric, but it's darker. So that'll be fine. It's just a little bit darker. Kevin's going to be blocked, y'all. He ain't going to be able to comment. Y'all going to have to say goodbye to Kevin. Y'all can talk to him, but he can't talk to y'all. He always trying to tell stuff. I gave him every piece of fabric back, but y'all don't know that. Claudette says, I had finished cutting for 2 quilts. Now I'm cleaning a Mercury electric vintage machine for my sister. It looked like it was left for dead. Oh my gosh. I never even heard of the name Mercury. And I know, is it similar to like the old featherweights? I know a lot of those were cloned. My grandmother had one of the clones. Happy birthday, Darcy. Says she went to Buffalo Wild Wings. Miss T, you can't put baby in the corner. Remember, yes, I can. Everybody for Jersey goes in the corner, okay? All right, so this is the one that goes on the other side. So now we work. I have no 2 pieces to sew together yet. These can't go together. They're on opposite sides of the center. So we're going to get the next row, start with it. So I need to add 2 purples and a pink right here. I have 2 purples and a pink right here. I already had those laid out, but I need to know 2 purples and a pink for the bottom. Down here, I can take this one, and I need 1 more purple. And I'm just trying to make sure it's not like really close. It can be in the neighborhood, but not, close. Because I only got so many fabrics, y'all. I'm trying not to cut anymore, but that's a whole nother issue. If I need to, I will. I'm just trying not to use the same fabric. I can use this one. That'll work. And that's going to be on the other side. All right, so I'm going to sew this one on here so I know it goes first. And then I'm going to sew the other two together by themselves, so we know which end. Let me make sure my numbers are upright. Yep. This is row number 11. See, and I put that underscore I was telling you all about last time. I had to put an underscore. So when I get this one sewed, top and bottom, then I can sew these two rows together. Oops, let me put my iron back on because I know it's off now. I didn't leave it on. And I don't even have water in here. I'm completely out of water. I can't believe that myself. All right, so this one here goes on the other end, down here. And then this is ready to be sewn to the piece I just put on the wall. Although I should probably go ahead and make the other side, which is missing a good chunk of pieces, y'all. Let me go get it. Let me get it. It's missing blues and purples and the pink. She said it is a vintage 15 clone. Okay. That's cool. That's why my name is Bennett and I'm not in it. Okay, Lana. Joanne says, I got nothing but love for you, Kevin. Take a quick peek at your thumbs up. Did you hit it? That's from Darcy. Thank you, Darcy, for the reminders. All right, so I'm going to take this off because I still need to know, so I'm not putting stuff the same thing, because I'm sort of kind of working on rows 5. So 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm working on 6, 7, 8, 9. So if you had the span in the middle, so I'm trying to still put a little space between pieces. And then like the next ones, I probably will not care as much. Maybe. All right, so we've got this. And then I need to make this same thing for the other side. But I just want to make sure that I'm, the fabrics are not the same over there. So I need technically 4 blues and 4 purples and 2 pinks. That's what I need. And up there, I got this one up there already. No to that. This could go, but I don't want to use it. I don't want to use that one. Well, I could use this on the bottom because I haven't used it on the bottom. That's the bottom. Well, we'll put the bottom over here. I keep putting the bottom to the left when I should be doing it the opposite way. This is not at the top. This is the top for blue. Need 2 more blues. I can't even see the blues right there. Ugh, long arms, let's work. I'm gonna fall out this chair. It's gonna be funny on the live. All right. This is the top. This is the bottom. Okay. I just want to get something. This can go at the top. This one's already at the bottom. This is a different color of the same thing. It could go at the top. No, it's already up there. That's the top. We need the bottom. And this color is not at the bottom. It's just a similar color to what I've already used in the blues, but it's okay. It's all right. It's going to be blooming anyway, hopefully. I got another fabric here I can use. I can use this fossil fern instead. All right, so 2 blues on each one. Now we want purples. And this purple, we want a pink at the bottom. So I'm going to put this over here because I knew I was using that, so I didn't use the fabric. And then I can put this right there. I'll turn it like that. All right, at the top, we've got this at the top. This is not at the top. And this is at the top, but it's further down and over because this is on the other side, so we could use that. Now I need a pink square for, what is this? I need a pink square over there that I don't have cut. Oh, I knocked the whole stack down. Didn't notice it. I'm like, where's my pink fabric? All the pink, green, and yellow has fallen to the floor. When I got up, I touched it on the counter. So we're going to need it all eventually. Okay, this is green. I just need a pink. Well, I say I need pink, but I've used that pink square. Two. So I only had 2. I thought I used more than that because I got one here. I can just use some scraps. Here's one I can use. I need my little bitty cutting thing. Uh-oh, I hit the wrong thing, y'all. Oops, and knocked my machine out. I don't know if my little mini mats, my mini rotary cutter is in here. It'll be better. Because all I'm doing is cutting off the little squares. Oops. These fabrics got to go in the right spot, y'all. Okay, so this pink goes up here on top. And then I'm just going to sit the whole cutting thing in well, maybe not the ruler. All right, so I can sew these pieces together. Lots of pieces, y'all. This is the top. I'm going to put this one in because I have it in another spot coming down, and then it'll be, no, it's on the outside. Actually, these two are the same fabrics together, but that's okay. We'll do it anyway. I'm going to act like I don't see it. Like, sew this stuff together, girl. So. So. Um, tell me what you all are working on. I still don't know what everyone is working on. Tell me what you're doing. I need to quilt some quilts. I got 2 quilt tops I need to quilt. One is the boho heart, not the exploding heart. The boho heart that I did with African squares. And then I also need to do, what's the other one I need to do? The exploding star. That's why I was saying exploding. The exploding star that I did with scrap African prints. Oh, I do have one more thing I want to tell you. And then I pulled my my spectacular 16 quilt. I want to get it quilted. I'm like, all of y'all can't have y'all stuff done, and mine's is not done. And then I pulled one other one. Oh, I pulled the one that this binding goes on that's been sitting here. This is, I can't remember the name of it because it's really the name of the fabric line. So it really isn't the name of a quilt pattern for real, but it's just the name of a fabric line. So I'm naming mines. This fabric was called Moonlight. So I'm calling it Asian Moonlight because it's got that gold speckle. And I think it's Asian I think it's an Asian print with the gold in it. It's just not your traditional Asian print with the cranes and all of that. But I think the person that made it is Asian. Vivian's working on her mystery quilt. So thank you, ma'am. So yeah. I'm trying to I'm gonna I picked 4 of my own quilts. Of course, soon as I said that I'm gonna quilt my own quilts, and my machine just got fixed, somebody at Gill brought me 3 quilts to quilt, and I said, nope, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. But I'm not doing it right now. I'm going to quilt my 4 quilts. I pulled out the tops, got them measured already, and now I just need to cut batting. And all of them, I think I'm going to put black batting in all of them, so that because of the African print, I think I'm going to put the black batting in them so that if they do beard, that it won't be like a white fuzz on top of him. But I think I'm going to put black batting in everything. Okay, this one here. This is the bottom, and I'm trying to see if I want to put, it doesn't matter what's on top and bottom, for real. You know, I'm just trying to mix it up so when I do put 2 blues, that the same blue isn't always on the top or always on the bottom. It doesn't matter, for real, y'all. I just need to sew because ain't nobody gonna even see all of that unless it's hanging up, and then most people just walking past stuff. I be overthinking sometimes. Just sew this stuff. In 2 weeks, my son will be going back to college, and then I will be turning his room into my new sewing room. Oh my God. This is the top. So we're going to put these 2 together. And then add the other piece on the bottom. And then maybe I can do some pressing so that I can sew these 2 rows together. If I got the 2 right sides, I'm not sure. We'll find out in a minute. And if not, I can get it. I think I got both rows, both sides done now. So it's just a matter of picking which one I got the closest to me and pressing it. This is the left side. So I just need to press the ones that I just redid. And it's still cut off on me. Are you crazy? It's not trying to earn its salary in here today. I like to press first with my wood press so that I know that everything is nice and flat. Lana says, I'm not working on anything. I just finished pressing all the fabrics that I washed Wednesday. They're all Christmas fabrics. I need to go through Halloween stuff. I need to start doing something with it. Hi, Tillis8 says, hello, I can't believe I caught you here. I haven't seen you on here since before I left Oklahoma to move back to Mississippi. I miss seeing you. Well, welcome back. Welcome, welcome. So yeah, now let's press these while it's still hot instead of reading. Okay, and then we just got to go to the end. The middle has been pressed. It was already sewn. Maybe, just maybe, while I'm long arming, I might, press some of these other pieces so I'm not dealing with so many individual pieces. But, sometimes it's just what it is. This is row number 11 for real. But I was counting from the center out. Now this is row number 12. So I need to press it. Let's see where I stopped. That's been pressed. Press that. Press this. And cut off any long strings because I've been cutting my thread. It's just easier when I'm live. I can't do everything and then keep track of making sure these pieces are in the right spot. That's what happened to me before. I forgot to sew a second piece of orange. Had to fix that strip when I got off the live. So we don't want any happy accidents because Bob, most times they don't work in quilting, okay? Happy accidents do not work in quilting all the time. Sometimes you can make a new pattern. All right, so now we got those pressed. We can go ahead and I'm going to pin because I'm a pinner. I like for my stuff to be pretty. And that's the best way I know how. Okay. And I'm going to sort of kind of lay it down. Oh, now I know why I was sewing them individually to the other strips because I had the rows I could use the previous row to make sure my strips were all sort of kind of in the same spot. But, we will do what we're doing. We're just going to make sure we line top and bottom. And then, so we know we're not stretching our ends. And then just go in the middle. And make sure I'm about centered. In the middle, in the middle. Just about. think we'll be okay. And then till it says I lost my sewing mojo. So seeing you work on your projects will help me get back in the groove. I'm sorry that happened. And see, it was weird for me because, well, I guess losing your sewing mojo is different than, going to it for comfort, I guess. And sometimes life just takes over. You just don't have a choice in the matter sometimes. All right, we're going to sew this one and then I'll press the one that's on here so I can sew those 2 rows together. Make sure my end is together. All right, let's go cut this first piece off so I can press this strip and the one that I knocked off the wall apparently. It's right here. Press these 2 and sew these together. All right. This is the one, boy, on this side. I just went on vacation on the right side of the quilt, y'all. I did not do a whole lot of sewing. It's like I am out. I've done enough. Like my next rows, it's like I got one more row on the left that's partially sewn. But on the right, I don't think they're sewn together at all. I don't know. I have to see. One might be. It looks awfully close. But it's only like 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 pieces on there. I need a lot more pieces. So by the time I took this off my design wall and tried to do all of this at Scrap Club, and at Scrap Club, I actually wanted to, I didn't want to lay out these. I had a quilt, not a quilt, I had a sewing machine that I needed to set up for sewing because it was set up for machine embroidery. And so I wanted to do that instead. I only got one piece to sew, or did I press this side already? I guess I did. No, it's not. It's right here. I see it now. Trying to fool me, y'all. That was because I had sewed this end piece on previously. Oops, let me. Just like to give it a little crease with the wood press to make sure there's no folds. That's one. Hi, Marjable. I'm working on a Scrap Club project. No names on this project yet because it's part of the Scrap Quilting Club and they pay for the group. So I'm only giving that information to them at this point. Eventually, I haven't even made, it's been so much going on this year, y'all, that I haven't even made the videos for 2025's project. I guess Bonita projects can be included now. I'm waited so long. And also the what was the other thing? I got to find what I did with all the photos. Um what was the other thing? Oh, the spectacular 16s. I never put a video out on that either. So one of these days, I need like 3 more me's. Somebody that knows how to edit. Somebody that can fix my long arm software program. Don't want to work on my old Windows. It's like every time I boot up my Windows, they take another feature out of the old Windows. It's like they're just being mean. It's unnecessary for them to take features away. You're saying you're not updating it, but you are, because I reboot my computer and it's not working. So I'm gonna have to reinstall that on my other machine, but that's a whole nother issue. I don't even have my chair is still inside the my chair that I use at my computer desk is still in the trailer. Okay. I ain't even thinking about that chair. So before I can even reinstall, I gotta go get the chair and everything. So nobody has time for that. All right, that's one that's pressed. And this is row number 18. I'm working from the center out, y'all. And this is 19. This one's been pressed as well as this one. So this is 19. And then I want to make sure that they're up here going the right way. I got tape on every row because I was not playing. Once I sewed one row wrong, well, I had numbers on them anyway, because I already knew I needed to keep track. But I don't like ripping, even if it's a little. Claudette says my long arm is moving next year to Texas, so I'm planning to buy a long arm. Any opinion on using corsage pins versus red snapper? I have used corsage pins for years. There's nothing wrong with using them. Uh, if you want to use some type of system um, to make it faster to load quilts, then yes, I would use something like Red Snapper. But there's also another company called Leader Grip. Now, I don't know. You got to remember, I've had my machine for 10 years, and then I had 3 friends that had long arms that I have borrowed their long arms. So, and no, there were 2 different brands, Tin Lizzie, and then also a Gamma. But I also tested every machine before I bought mine. And I'm just trying to see. It's just laying there. It didn't even move, y'all. So I know it's going to be nice and flat. I just want to pin it. So I've used all the systems. So I have pinned, and this person that I use, she liked the little mini T pins. I have used both. I do like the corsage pins because I can pick them up easier, as far as, they got the pearl drop a pin head on it. So I did that for many years. It just takes a little longer to pin, but there's nothing wrong with it. I actually feel like pinning is probably more accurate than any of the leader systems, but that's a whole nother issue. But I haven't pinned in years. So I will tell you that. Only pins, I do use the corsage pins, but I use them. I float my quilt top, so I have my backing and my batting laid down, and then I put my channel locks on, and then I baste a line that's with my channel lock so I know it's straight. And then I use the corsage pins to pin the quilt top to the batting line, the line on the batting that I just stitched. And then I baste it down. And then as I'm going, I make sure that I keep the tension. There's a whole slew of stuff that I do in that whole process. But So I do use the corsage pins, but what I use for loading is actually leader grips. And if you use some, and leader grip was out first, I will tell you that what I was told, and I ain't gonna say by who on this thing because I don't have permission to say that, but I was told that leader grips was made first. The person who took over, who isn't, not who took over, but who started Red Snapper, I don't know if it's the same person on it. I don't know. Again, this is information that's 10 plus years old. And I went with leader grip because I was told that that person used to work with leader grip and then went and started Red Snapper. And I didn't think that was kosher, so I did not do that. However, my friend bought red snappers because we didn't know none of this. One of my friends that had a long arm bought red snappers. We installed them, and I'm telling you that those things were twisting. You put a rod inside of the casing on your leader, and they twisted on me and her. And I just felt like they were never as accurate. And with leader grip, they are, and that was because they were round. So because they were round, they would continue to roll. Leader grips are flat. You might want to do your research and see which one you like best. Leader grips were flat. And so they actually stopped when you put it in because it had a flat lip. It will stop itself right there. Whereas to me, the red snappers rolled a little bit more. Just my opinion. Again, everybody has a preference for what they like to use. But I use leader grips. Um, Leader grips, I also use them for my side clamps as well. And if you are going to use something like Red Snapper and you're going to float your quilts, that's a whole nother issue. If you're going to float, you only need to buy product for 2 rails, not 3. But if you're not gonna float, then you need to buy product for 3 rails. I like using them as side grips because my machine got destroyed when I used the clamps because I didn't have enough backing fabric. The leader grips can be done with a little bit less fabric, take up a little less space. You'll hit plastic instead of hitting metal. Um, but I didn't have enough space that even that wouldn't stay. So I had to end up pinning on an extra sleeve every time I went to roll the quilt top. So, you have a little bit more play when you use those too. But in my instance, it wasn't enough, and I was being hard headed. Didn't want to use a extra external sleeve because it takes me longer time. And then I knocked my whole tension and foot out of whack. Okay. So, um, part of being a long armor is knowing how to also fix your problems. Either you fix them or you got to pay somebody to fix it. This time I was like, I don't know, because like I said, I haven't had issue with my machine. And I don't know if it's because it's been so many years since I've had to fix anything, repair anything on my machine. I just could not get my hand and eye coordination to work this time. So it was frustrating. So hopefully you have machine quilted like at a quilt shop or something. You've like rented a machine and done it yourself. So you know what's involved. Because I would hate for somebody to spend that kind of money on a long arm, never done it, and then it ended up being a stressful thing. But I do recommend, I actually bought my long arm. I didn't buy my long arm to go in business. I don't even advertise. Like if I was a true long armor, that's all that would be coming out of my mouth. I'd be talking about me trying to solicit quilts. And I ain't trying to get nobody to send me anything either. But I bought the long arm because I had 50 quilt tops of my own that needed to be quilted, and I did not want to. When I tallied up how much it was going to cost for me to get that done, I had purchased the long arm because I like a particular style of quilting. And then in order for you to get that, you know, I like closer quilting, not the very loose quilting. I don't want mine to look like puffy. I want mine to be, I want texture. I like texture over puffiness. So I like when I wash it and then I get all that texture from that smaller quilting. So that's what I like. But I was a kid that also rubbed my pillowcase, like the corner of my pillow when I went to sleep. That was my soothing motion. So yeah. So I'm really, it's all in what you like. I have missed a whole lot of stuff because I haven't been even looking up here. Hold on, let me go back and see what I missed. Um, One question I can go off go all the way off the topic, right? But I answered the question. I try to answer so you have not just what you're asking me, but you have other information that you can also use. You make your own decisions on what you do. And again, you might like the red snappers better. On it depends on, what system is on, what type of frame, because this was on a 10 Lizzie frame. It wasn't on a Gamma. I just wasn't buying it when I realized those two things that they rolled, and but they could have made them now. They might be just like leader grips. You never know. Thank you. I'm trying to finish projects that I started and abandoned before starting something new. You're better than me because I'm the queen of UFOs. Although half of them are from teaching and lecturing, but still, cause this is my track record. As soon as I finish one of my UFOs that I have for a class, and I always have the written pattern. I have stepped it out, and then I've got like two or three other projects as a minimum made in different ways so you can see. So before you start yours, you can make decisions on how you want to make yours. But soon as I finish one of my UFOs, guess what class is requested of me to teach? The class sample that I just finished. So I just let them sit there. And I got a whole lot. I got at least 50, 60 quilt tops easily. I haven't even counted recently. Okay, that's how bad it is. I stopped counting. I used to know. Good night, Joanne. I thought it could be a barbell. I went to get some of my UFOs done. When I go into my new room, I will find them all. Borgello, don't you love autocorrect? Oh, okay, because I didn't know what she was talking about. I thought it could be a Borgello. It's similar to a Borgello. Um, Diane says, I lost my sewing mojo also for a year and trying to get back into my sewing routine now every day. So far, I have been trying to reduce my fabric and donating to Senior Citizen Club. That's nice. And I said I had something I wanted to tell you. I really got two things I need to tell y'all. Hold on. Let me get through the chat to the bottom. I'm almost there. Good night, Lana. See you next time. I bought a Sweet 16 sit down and then found out I hate quilting the tops. I love doing the rest of the process. And when we say a sit down machine, that's totally different feeling than a long arm. Just know that. I'm not saying that it's not a long arm. It is a long arm, but a stand up and a sit down machine are two different things. So they're two different processes because I personally would not purchase a sit down long arm. I used my regular sewing machine and then I went straight to the long arm. I do have a friend that bought a sit down because she didn't have room for a long arm and she's mastered it. It just all in what you are willing to put the time into to learn. But she doesn't even have to baste because I was shocked that she wasn't even basting her quilts on this long arm, the sit down long arm. Oh, her next long arm is 2 hours away. Hey, Joe Carmel. So she's just getting off work and she paid her rent. Well, thank you, ma'am. Hey, Gail. She says, I'm working on a donation baby quilt. So that's awesome. So donation, keyword. Two things. I went and donated the leftover pillowcases that I had. I found this organization here in St. Louis. It's fairly newer, but they work with foster children, which most of the children that are in homes or have been through some sort of the foster system, because that's kind of what we've been looking to get a hold of. And our quilt guild has been working with them. They actually came to our quilt guild. I'm just going to guess a month and say like April or May of this year. And they were talking about their organization, and it's really bigger than it is. And it's called My Life in a Bag. And the reason why they chose that name is because most time foster kids go to places, their stuff is like in a store bag. And so they wanted to make a difference. And so they started with, like, when you first just go, they wanted to make sure that they had everything that they need when you go to a foster placement. Now, I have known some foster mothers and I have heard my niece was in foster care for a short period of time until she came to live with me for a period of time ago. And she had been in foster placement until they got somebody in the family approved. And when she came to me, she told me that she was at a place where the lady, she had a plate, a fork, and a spoon, and a glass. And she could only eat out of those items. She could not use any other of the utensils that was in this house. And there were other kids. So you ate, you washed your stuff, so you had it for the next time you need it, but you don't use none of the regular house stuff. It was like this particular foster parent treated them like they were germy. And the foster system makes sure that they got health care. So there was nothing wrong with them. She just had her mom and dad were going through a period where they just needed some help themselves. And then eventually asked me would I take her, because they was trying not to involve family in what was going on with both of them, even though they weren't living together. Both of them just at that particular time, that's just how fate works. They just couldn't change it. And my brother, he would have had to like rearrange his whole lifestyle like instantly, and he was trying to immediately get her out as quickly as you can, moving with the foster system. So then here I come getting her. So when I get her, I'm starting to hear all these horror stories, because I have a friend whose mother-in-law also kept foster children, and she was the total opposite. So I do know that not all foster placements are bad. But anyway, the fact that when they come, what they have is what they have. If they don't come with the pillow, if they don't come with a luggage, if they don't come with a bag, their stuff is just sitting on the floor. Nobody gets them a dresser drawer or anything like that. So what this organization started out with was having people donate luggage. So a lot of us, we donate it to Goodwill, or we just take it and trash it. And what this company does is that they started out with luggage, so that when they did place foster kids, that they had their own suitcase so that they could live out of the suitcase instead of living out of a store bag. Can you imagine living out of a Target bag? All your worthy belongings are in a Target bag. You can't even sort inside of a bag. So I thought that the organization was great, but they have since moved. They've been doing this for a while. They since have moved to whole life. And they're even moving in the future. They've been having land donated to them so that in different states too, so that in the future they're working, their end goal is that they're going to, when you turn 18, you place out of foster care. And then normally you just go straight to a life of crime because you're going to be homeless. You're going to be doing whatever you need to do to get meals and things like that. So what they're doing, they're going to be making tiny home communities for foster children as they place out of the regular foster care system. But when I dropped off those pillowcases, he was asking me, because I only had by the time this man had come, I had already donated them to all these other organizations. And one of them was the tornado. We had an organization that made quilts for the people that were affected by the tornadoes. So I went and took a big batch of pillowcases to that organization so that they could also give pillowcases with the quilts, because I'm like, if you're giving a quilt, they need pillowcases too. And so I gave them what I had left, which wasn't a whole lot. It wasn't even 20, I would say. If it was in that neighborhood. It wasn't 30, I know. And so he asked me if I could ask my people, which are you, if we could do just pillowcases that you all can send to me by Thanksgiving, so that I can give them to him early December, so that they can start making Christmas things for the kids, and so that everybody has something for Christmas. And so they want to make sure that every kid has their own pillow and pillowcase. And so if you all would be willing to make some more pillowcases, this organization would really love it. And when I went up there to drop off the pillowcases, I was in the front office part. And he asked me, have you ever been here before? I said, no. I said, this is my first time dropping off. I just wanted to drop these off. I told you I would. I said, it's been a few months, but I just had to get them up here. And he says, no problem. He said, what I like to do for people that it's their first time, I like to have them just come and see. So he showed me how they store all the luggage. They have some luggage that they keep to, like the bigger pieces, so that they can store the quilts in the luggage. So they know that these pieces right here have the quilts in them, and they got the quilts by size. Everything is labeled. And they have back to school supplies. They got that section. They got personal hygiene. They got clothing. So they're looking for they taking everything. But what he's asking me for, and my guild, we're gonna do quilts, and we're also gonna do personal hygiene and socks and underwear. So people are just gonna start bringing stuff to the guild, and then we're gonna get it to them. So if people will make pillowcases, I told him, these people made over 500 pillowcases. I should easily be able to get you at least 60 pillowcases by Thanksgiving, easily. So I want y'all to tell me, show me what you all can do with these pillowcases, and get some pillowcases out. And I'll try to put it into the Facebook group too. But I had sent out all of those pillowcase things before. If you don't have a pillowcase pattern, they're very easy to make. Look up these two methods. The burrito method is one way they word it, and another way they word it is the hot dog pillowcase. So hot dog pillowcase or burrito pillowcase. And they're really easy to make. You can use whatever fabric. But now that we know that these are going to children, so you can even pull some children prints. You can also pull some stuff for teenagers. You could pull some that's for males and females. So have fun picking the fabrics out. We don't need what is classically what adults would have. I think everybody likes flowers, things like that. You can use flowers. But if it's something that's like we don't want wine pillowcases, okay? We don't want alcoholic pillowcases. So we don't want things with beer and things like that. So any fun foods would be fun, like if you got French fry fabric or anything like that. So I forgot to announce this at Scrap Club today. I was a little off at Scrap Club today. I wasn't even feeling it. All I wanted to do was take a nap, and I did come home and take a nap. But that's one thing I wanted to share with you all. Pillowcase drive in full effect. I'm going to pick a date. I'm not going to pick one now because I want to make sure. I think that I want to get those to him prior to Thanksgiving so that he have them and they're already included and he knows how many he have. So we're going to be doing pillowcases again. So we're going to be donating those to the children in the foster. So everybody in foster care, we're going to try to get them a pillowcase. I don't know how many children in the St. Louis area. I'm going to see if Google can tell me approximately how many children are in foster care in Missouri, because it would be interesting. And I know he's not going to have, we're in the St. Louis metropolitan area. And like I said, he's got land donated. He's reaching into other states to be putting this organization. This organization, again, is called My Life in a Bag. You can go online and check them out. But they're not just taking care of dropping these kids off at these houses and then leaving them. And as I was walking out, he was asking me, what did I do? And I told him, actually I'm retired, but I have my own business with quilting where I teach and do lectures and workshops. And he says, he turned around and said, let me show you one more spot. He went back and showed me this classroom that they have. They're also going to be doing education for children in the public school system in the St. Louis area. The St. Louis City, St. Louis County, they're missing so many things because of funding and parenting. Parents don't have the funds either. Just generally, they're just underpaid more than other counties in Missouri. And these kids are missing out on basic things like even how to start a business. Nobody teaches that in the public school system. They're doing the bare minimum and that's it. So he's doing classes for kids that want to be entrepreneurs. If they want to go to school, he's teaching them how to get scholarships. And then he said some of the kids may need to learn how to sew. I said everybody needs to learn how to sew if they weren't presented with home ec in high school. I say, because if you have a young man that needs buttons put on his coat and he can't get buttons on his coat and he got to go ask some female if she can put buttons on his coat, and then he's beholden to this particular person because he doesn't know how to sew buttons on his own coat. So he's going to be setting up some stuff where I told him I'd volunteer a little bit and then I'm going to be getting him some help because I can't do it all. But I told him I would be willing to teach basic sewing and also teaching, like, putting buttons on. I say we can make pillowcases because that's easy to make. It's all straight stitching. And then like doing some basic stuff, like maybe showing them how to make a pair of pajamas or something, showing them that they can make clothing too. So I just think it would be awesome. So anybody that wants to donate more pillowcases, I know y'all went hog wild, went crazy. We had over 500 and some pillowcases when the first goal was only 100 pillowcases. And then y'all, I begrudgingly said 200 by mistake. And then we were at 200. Y'all surpassed that. And it was just ridiculous. So I'm looking forward. I got a trailer I can put them in. It ain't gonna be no problem about where I can put them this time. So as these pillowcases come in, I'll get a plastic container, get them set up, and I'm just gonna be putting pillowcases. No, I got a handle bag. I'll just take I have those bags that I use when I'm going to quilt lectures. I'll just take one of those because I got extra. And I'm going to write on it pillowcases so I can just give him that whole bag so that he has it to store the pillowcases in too as he's when he receives them, so he doesn't even have to figure out what to do with them. He'll already have them in something that he can hand carry and take to wherever they're going to do their sorting when it comes time to do the Christmas gifts for the kids. So Tillis says, I tried to make some pillowcases, but I don't know how. Again, I don't have the links right here, but I sent links out. They might be on my community page, might be some links. So go on my YouTube community page and scroll back because we just did the pillowcase drive last year. So scroll back. I don't post on the community page that often, so it should be easy to find. I put some links over there to different ways of making pillowcases. We had French seams. We had, if you wanted to do regular seams, I didn't care as long as the pillowcase was made. Okay. Should we wash them before we mail them? I think uh if you, I would say if you can, yes. And that's just, and then you're gonna have to press them so that they look new. But I'm hoping that most kids have access. We don't know when these kids get to the next level if these people will even let them use the washing machine. Okay. So I would say, I'm gonna just say yes if you're willing to do that. And you can put a little W on it. You don't have to say washed, just put a W on yours, and then I'll let him know that the W means that they've been washed. Like if you put them in a bag, I'm going to put them back into the bags. I'm going to put them into plastic bags. So if you put them inside of a plastic bag and then mail them, I'm just put a W on the bag so that we know that it's been washed. So they'll know which ones have been washed. So yeah. How many do you think we can do? Oh, she's asking Kevin, how many do you think we can do? Um, um, so yeah. Pillowcases again. I can't believe that I'm even saying this because y'all scared me so bad. And the other thing that I'm gonna do for the Teaquilts retreat, that the one that's due next retreat, whenever that date is you remember we made blocks, we made the string blocks. Well, this time I'm going to be doing more blocks because I feel like if I can have blocks made, then um we can take those and turn those into quilts, especially for the older kids that are in twin beds, be making twin size quilts because everybody is not a baby. And so I'm going to be doing quilts again. And then if I can't make them, sorry, I just hit the mic again. If I can't make it, then what I'm going to do is donate them to my quilt guild. So people in the quilt guild, because I have a feeling I'm not working with any other charity organization. I like this organization so well because they go to all the other charity organizations. So if the other charity organizations have a need, they got the stuff stocked, ready to go so that they can give that organization what they need. And I'm telling you that I donated I'm going to be honest with you guys that I never told you all this. I donated the last quilts to the Annie Malone Children's Home. They had a new director at that time. I contacted her via Facebook. She told me everything, and I explained to her that I wanted to have a volunteer donation letter once I donated, saying that I had donated because I got to come back to you all. You all made those blocks. We had 15 quilts that I dropped off at the Annie Malone Children's Home. It was 2 employees there when I got there. So I say, this is great. It's more than one person. So at least 2 people in this organization know. And I told them that I needed to have receipt that I had donated this. And it was right before Christmas because I wanted to take them in there right before Christmas so that I felt like if any kid came in and they didn't have anything for them for Christmas, that they could have new bedding. It was going to be theirs. I never received that documentation. Never got any phone calls back when I called inquiring about documentation. Even on Facebook, when I first done the original contacting, I still never got any responses back. I'm just leaving it up to God what happened with those quilts. But I just did not feel good when I left those quilts there. And that's why you all never heard of another block drive from me for charity. So I feel really confident in this organization that everybody is coming to him. So say Annie Malone needs some bedding, they're going to come to him and he will give them exactly what they need. So that way somebody high up in that organization has contacted him officially, that he knows who all the people are that are working in this field. So it won't be any shenanigans going on, at these charity organizations anymore. So I never felt really good about, I don't know, I didn't feel good about what really happened to the end result of those 15 quilts that I donated. That's all I can say. And I know that my quilt guild is mostly doing twin or baby size quilts. And I want to make sure that we have some larger quilts too. Sue says better than a square and a square. You got that right. And on these quilts, you don't have to have a particular block. I just want them to be a certain size. And we're going to talk about that. And we're going to have everybody put an oversized frame. So when the blocks do come in, the person putting the quilt tops together, be it me or somebody else, that they can square all of these blocks to the same size. So everything will fit. So I don't want, say you make a 12-inch block. And normally I might tell you to put a 1.5-inch strip all the way around. Well, I'll probably tell you to put a 2-inch strip all the way around. And then that way I can square it up to the 14.5 when I get them. So that if there's any discrepancy in one quilter's 1/4-inch seam to another one, that's what's going to happen. So I'm basically going to be asking you to make a 12-inch finished block and then add a 2-inch sashing all the way around. So that's going to be what's going to be for retreat and all of that. And that's going to be next year. So that I'm hoping that some of the quilts can start to be made. And maybe by next Christmas, we'll have a few of the larger ones. So say they have some teenagers that are aging out of the system and they're going somewhere to live, then they've got something that's at least twin size that they can put on a bed, you know. So yeah. Francis says we can do more than 100, but I at least want 100. Francis says at least 300, but this is a shorter time period. We had a bigger time period when we did the other one too. So it's going to be interesting. But Joe Carmel says she's in 100%. So good. And Francis talking about 300. Ooh, Lord Jesus. And Darcy talking about 300 to 400. I don't think so with the short period of time, y'all. That's the other thing. Now, the good thing is he didn't wait until early November or late October to tell me this. He did tell me now. It's still a little late, but he did tell me now. And I know how y'all went crazy making pillowcases. So I told him, I said, if you need pillowcases, I can get you pillowcases. Don't you buy one pillowcase for these kids. So he said, okay. And I'm saying to myself, even if I have to make them all myself, this man is not going to be buying pillowcases. Okay. Hey, Rhonda Barlow. Going to Marshall's Monday, I can check out juvenile fabric. I have a lot of novelty stuff. I just need to go pull some. And I have a lot of novelty prints because I want to do an I Spy quilt. But it's like I need to use some of this stuff. So we can make some fun ones too. In ATL, we made twin quilts for kids timing out of foster care. Charity should always send a letter of acknowledgement and thanks. Yes, and that's why I feel like those 15 quilts did not go where they needed to go. And then, of course, nobody is talking to me anymore, okay, when I'm trying to do follow-up. But yeah, it's just sad that you have people that take advantage of the disadvantage. And that's why I said I never got mad. I just didn't share it with you all at the time. It's been years ago now, but I just didn't share my feelings because I'm like, they are my feelings. But I just leave that stuff in God's hands and I don't let it stop me from doing the next charity project. That's all I can say is that I'm going to do the next charity project. So Diane says, T, my first dollar I earned sewing was in home ed 10th grade. This guy had lost a button off his leather jacket and my teacher picked me. That is awesome. That is awesome. Sue says, I've been working on a more with I was wondering where you were, Sue girl. Darcy says, T, you're going to put out directions on size and stuff like that. I have them. If you want to go look, you can just Google pillowcases. I don't care we're talking about standard pillowcases, not travel pillowcases. Okay. So long as it's standard, it can be standard or queen. I don't care. Just long as those children have a pillowcase. Okay. So I'm not caring. So just Google it. They all over the internet and you should never have to pay for a pillowcase pattern. They're free everywhere. So don't pay for one if you're looking online and somebody's trying to sell you some instructions. You can even put free in the search engine, but you should not be paying for a pillowcase pattern. What time is it? We got 9 more minutes, y'all. And I stopped sewing too. Let me cut this. Oh, and that was just one thing. Y'all was so excited about the one thing that I don't forget about telling you about the next thing. Oh my goodness. Y'all, I've been accepted to vend at the Modern Quilt Show in Atlanta. So I will be in Atlanta, but I will not be walking about. Maybe at a particular time or day, because I normally do like a meet and greet on Friday. And so I think I might be in an area where I can do a meet and greet, like just stepping out of my booth, just because I'm going to look at the layout again and see where I'm at. And if not, I can do it in my area because I can't go too far. I got to stay close to the booth. Yeah. When you're vending, it's just you vending and whoever you bring with you to watch your booth. There is nobody. You got to have somebody with you so you can even go to the restroom, eat, things like that. So, but yes, Teaquilts in ATL in 2027 at the Modern Quilt Show. I will be a vendor. 2607 is my booth number, I think. So, yay, I paid my deposit. They just came out with it on Wednesday. Do you know that by the time I went in there, because I went in Wednesday night, by the time I went in there, all of them slots was almost gone. These people are not playing with these booths. I'm just telling you. So, y'all, my little trailer finna go to Atlanta. I'm already doing one over the road, but it's only about 2 hours away in October. And then I got one here in November that's like St. Louis County area, or it's not really St. Louis. I don't know where the quilt show is right now, but it's St. Louis County somewhere. And so I had those 2 already booked. And so now I have the Modern Quilt Girl. I'm finna go on an 8-hour road trip, y'all, with a trailer attached to my car. Lord Jesus help me. We'll see. We may have to hook that thing up to Kevin's truck. But we shall see. Thank you, Kevin. Kevin is giving you all a link to the YouTube community page where he found the thing where I put down the burrito methods for people that are having problems finding it. So yeah. The age groups from the pillowcases is whatever age people go into foster care until they age out, but they're also not leaving them as young adults. They're going to be placing them into tiny homes, and they're going to furnish those homes, and they're wanting quilts for those beds and pillowcases and things. So they will be up to young adult. So I would say at least 2021, they might be following them up till they're 21. It would be my guess based on how he was talking to me. I did not ask an age though, but to me, if they're doing all of that, they're going to be following up on them a little bit more. And like I said, they got the education center where they're going to make sure that they got the tools that they need to be successful out in the community, things that they're lacking, social wise, educational wise, business wise. So they're setting up with all these different people that are willing to teach these kids what they need to know so that they can go out here and be successful. So I'm all for this organization, and they're covering all aspects of their lives, not just you got taken from your mom today, because this is how most things work. You got taken from your mom today. We're going to go place you with somebody. Here, we're going to give you this bag. It's got some bare minimum clothing, and then that's going to be all that we're going to do for you, and that's it. And then they never see the person who they never see. You hardly ever even see the social worker after that. It's like they got to be called for a problem in order for the social workers almost to come back on real soon. But this organization stays in touch with these children, so I think it's going to be cool. But yeah, I hope you have a team working a booth It's crazy in the vending area. I vended at let me back up. I have been on the professional level vending with my friends. I had two people. I had one person died. Iowa Star Quilts was my friend, and she told me everything that I needed to know about vending on a local level. So she told me everything. And then I had another lady that I worked with, Fabritique. I can't remember if she's out of Baltimore. I can't remember where she's out of right now. But anyway, I vended with her, and then I learned some more techniques from her. She didn't tell me about the business side, but I learned techniques on how to set up booths and all of this type of stuff from her. So by working with her, and sometimes I didn't even charge, and she would try to give me fabric and stuff, and sometimes she didn't have anything that I wanted, so I wouldn't even take anything. But it was, every time you're doing something, you don't have to necessarily be paid with cash money. You're getting something else that's more valuable, that's intangible. And so everything to y'all already know that about me, though. Everything isn't about money with me. It's like, what else can I learn while I'm here doing this? Okay. So yeah, thank you all people saying congratulations. I mean, for the blocks you had just been talking about. Yeah, the blocks that I was talking about, I haven't sent that information out. I don't know. I need to. I just came up with that one because I was trying to figure out what could I do for drawing. And then when I went and talked to him, I said, you know what? I'm just going to make two charity things for him this year. He's going to get those blocks, and then I also want to do the twin quilts, because most of my guild is doing baby quilts, and they're going to need, everybody isn't a baby that's in foster care. It's the middle kids that nobody cares about. Yeah, they go into the houses, maybe they do have attitudes, but also you got to understand from where they're coming from. If you're going to be a foster parent, you got to be a little bit more understanding and more patient, and willing to deal and be put through some long suffering, not just patience, but long suffering. If you're deciding that that's how you're going to get money, it's not just about you receiving money, because some of them receive money and don't even spend a dime of it on them kids. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. That's for other people to decide. I know that if I had received money for some children, I don't care if they gave it to me as income or not, and this person is staying in my house, they're giving you that money also to help you take care of that kid, not just to put in your pocket. Okay, my opinion. Again, I'm very opinionated, but I just know a lot from the inside of having being a foster parent myself, and then also having a family member in it that was telling me what happened with her. So this organization is right up my alley. And I did ask him, I said, what about organizations like Almost Home and Annie Malone? He says, if they need something, they know we have a network that if they need something, they know that this particular organization has this organization has that, and they know where to come get it from. And I said, cool, because I feel like if I donate my stuff to him, I don't have to worry about where it's going to land, if it's going to be in somebody's child's bed for Christmas at their house instead of at the right house it should be at. So I'm really, like I said, look this organization up online. It's called My Life in a Bag. That's where all of everything that we're doing for charity this year is going to benefit this particular company. So yeah. Hold on. Let me make sure I haven't been reading anything, y'all. Make sure the trailer is locked on. Oh yeah. Girl, I look, the next day, like when I got home from retreat, we had a very lively bus driver, and she told me to go to a particular place to go get me a jack, and that's exactly what I did. I went and got me a jack. So I have an automatic jack. Now I need to learn how to work said jack, because I haven't even opened it, but I do have one. Okay, I was not gonna be caught without a jack again. Okay, I tell you that. That's where you'll be mailing the. Thank you, Kevin. That you'll be mailing any of the charity projects. Will be going to that. again, you're making a 12-inch finished block, and then you're going to put a 2-inch cut frame on the block. So 2-inch strip on the sides, 2-inch strip on top and bottom. That's what you're going to be making. And then I'm going to be taking those and squaring them up so that I know all the blocks are the same size. So don't worry about, my block's a little bit short or my block's a little too big. I'm going to cut them all. That's what the frame is for. So sew a frame on. I don't even care if your frame is straight, long as that block end up being able to be squared up to 14.5 when I'm done. Don't you worry about the finished size, because I gave you a bigger piece of fabric to put on there so that I have room squared up. Okay. So yeah. So that's what we're going to be doing. Those are our 2 charity projects. And I do need to get those in writing. I meant to tell Scrap Club today. And like I said, I just did this yesterday. This all was yesterday. So I haven't had time to deal. I was trying to get that quilt off my frame. And then I was working on trying to figure out what I was going to do yesterday. What I was going to quilt for myself. Because I need to quilt for myself and put customer quilts behind for a minute. And do, because every time I cleared all my customer quilts out. And then what happened Thursday? I get 3 more. It's like, nope. I'm going to do mine. I'm going to stay with the agenda that I have been working on. So I'm going to do that. So talking about what? You opinionated? Just a little. I tell you, though, that it's my opinion. I do tell y'all that. And when I don't know something, I tell you that too. I do not know. But if I know, I'm going to tell you what you asked me for, and I'm going to tell you the stuff you didn't ask me for. Okay? I want to make sure you know it all. I went to QuiltCon the last time it was in ATL. It was the biggest quilting event I had ever seen. And the funny thing is, when it was in ATL, it was not the biggest quilting event that I have ever been to. So from what I understand, QuiltCon is even bigger now. And an ATL was bigger than some of the other ones. So I'm looking forward to being here. Even it's not even, again, well, I don't want to lose money, because I lost money at Quilt Knit Stitch. I don't want to lose money, but I don't have to make a whole lot of money either. So, well, I do. It would be nice. So, because the money I make from other venues of my business, I end up putting that money into the Teaquilts retreat. That's how you all getting layer cakes and things like that. Somebody's got to pay for it, okay? A lot of things get donated to kids. The last gift on Saturday night, those are your donated gifts. Now, some people come to retreat, like Miss Vivian, Paula, Donette. We had leftover fat quarters from your gift from last year. So that was 3. I think it was 3. It could be 4. And if I'm missing anybody, please forgive me. But I have some people that donate something to, Joe Carmel made something for everybody. So that was 4. And it seems like it was 1 more that I'm missing. But there are some people that make something or give something to everybody at retreat. So they're at home doing all of this packaging and planning. I have people behind the scenes who donate. That's how I go get all the chocolates and some of the snacks. I pay for some of it, but a good chunk of it is donated. People have bought snacks from Sam's and contact me saying, where can I deliver this to? So I have a couple of people that send snacks to my house. So I prefer almost to buy the snacks so I know what we have, because I don't want the snacks early because I got to put them into the trailer. So I tend to go to Sam's the day before retreat, and then I go ahead and put them in there that night so that they're already in there. So I'm not dealing with that early in the morning. But I'll take them anyway I can get them, okay? So it's a lot of people that are a part of Teaquilts, but I also put a lot of money into Teaquilts. So I take profit from other parts of my business to put into the Teaquilts retreat. That's basically where I'm going. But uh, uh, so yeah, I'm trying to figure out, did I miss anybody's question before I get off of here? Because we're after Ray saying, good night, everyone. Stay safe still and have fun always. Let me know. Hey, girl. Hey, sis. It's time for you to go. And I do need to go eat because I haven't eaten since lunch. The frame ideal is brilliant. Yes, because I don't want anybody to feel like my work is not good enough. If your block, if you say you already have a 10-inch block and you need to make that a 12-inch block, you can put two frames on the block. I don't care. So if you already got orphan blocks, you can build those blocks up. I don't care what your block is. Make your block 12.5 inches edge to edge, and then add 2 inches on sides, 2 inches on top and bottom. I don't care how you get there. So I'm not picky about these because they're just going to be sampler quilts. That's what we're going to be making, is sampler quilts. So yeah, so I'm not even caring. Twin size quilts, I haven't done the measurements yet because the blocks are gonna out. I haven't done the measurements yet. So I'll make up a mock-up of quilts because I know some of you are kind of cray-cray like me. And y'all might want to do a whole quilt top, okay? So what I'll do is I'll make the sizes. And if you make a quilt top, you make an entire quilt, it doesn't have to be a sampler, okay? So I will make sure that I get you approximate size that I'm looking for. When I'm doing twin bed quilts, I tend to go for something that's like in the neighborhood of 64 by 81, 2, in that neighborhood. So that's sort of kind of the size. So something that will fit a true twin bed. 64 by 84, because you don't want it so big that it's hanging off and then it's all on the floor. I'm not looking for full size. Twin size is somewhere about 64 inches wide by 82 at the most long. And if you're in that neighborhood, that's great. If it's 63, if it's 67, we'll work with it. But don't make it 10 inches bigger than it needs to be, because that's too much. Thank you, everybody, saying congratulations. Joke said, I may have to go to QuiltCon. Yes, girl, yes. There's a good movie titled Sound of Hope, the story of Possum Trout 2024 that everyone needs to watch. I have not heard of that. Sound of Hope, the story of Possum Trout. Okay. Who us? Sue said Jelly Roll race with borders. Just make sure that if you make a Jelly Roll race and it's too wide, remember, we're trying to keep them in the area of 64 wide. If they too wide, trim them down a little bit, okay? But you can definitely do that. If you can make a Jelly Roll race, and then if it's not long enough, just add a piece on top and bottom, cut off the sides to make it fit. That's all I'm asking for. I'm just trying to keep them in the range of a twin size bed so everything fits. Because remember, they're going to be in tiny homes too, so. And I even put in his head that, little small quilts can be art. Okay. So if you don't find anybody that do art, then you come back to this quilt guild and ask us to make y'all some art pieces that'll say 12 by 12. We can do it, So I let him know. I'm giving him ideas because people don't know what we do with fabric. And I just want him to know when he get to the point where he's doing those little tiny homes, and now you got this whole house all dressed up, but you ain't got no art on the wall. We can do that too. We can get you some art if you don't have any artists. Joe Carmel says, I got a lot that size, laughing out loud. Right. Do the children get to keep the quilts? Yes, everything that goes to these children are theirs. Now, that's not to say that some adult may not be nice, okay? But I'm hoping the way that this guy is keeping in touch with the children that he provides for and the organizations that he provides for, I'm hoping that it's a lot more accountability has been put into the system, which is what I really like. Because he's not doing a one and done. So he will see these children. He's teaching these children. So if something is being done to a child, eventually it's going to come out. Maybe not all of them are going to tell you, but somebody in that placement is going to tell you what's going on. But all of the quilts or anything that we give them is for the children. They're not to be kept at the place of the foster. They go with the child. So everything goes in a luggage. And when they go, they have clothes, they have personal hygiene, they have back to school stuff. And we're trying to make sure they have quilts and pillows and pillowcases. That's what the this drive is. Antoine Fisher is another great movie. I think I've seen Antoine Fisher. We have embroidery machines also. Yes, that's what I said. We can make some art, even just red work in different colors. You don't even have to piece anything. We can make a vase of flowers in the embroidery machine. So you're absolutely correct, Sue. And when I take those pillowcases back, maybe I'll take one of these little things here and make a little wall hanging and show him what I mean when he gets to his building stuff, because he's probably thinking quilt. Well, we can even take this and put this and stretch this on the back of canvas and everything. So if we can find canvas at Dollar Tree, and we can really be working it. But yeah, so I just want him to know I just love it because he motivated me, because I didn't realize, even though I have been doing charity projects, I didn't realize how much the Annie Malone thing bothered me until I was talking with him. And it was constantly in my head. And then I thanked him. I said, because I asked him particular questions like, about asking if other organizations need something, and I'm donating everything to you. How do I know that these other organizations are going to get what they need? And then he explained how they got the interlinked systems, that if somebody needs something, that they know that the other person have it, that they can get it from them. So that was enough for me, because he had already answered all the other questions. The way he presented it, when they came, it was he brought 3 or 4 adults with him to do the presentation. Everybody is volunteers. Nobody on staff is getting paid. Nobody. All volunteer. Nobody's getting paid. It's a popular movie about foster care in a town called Possum. I don't think I could have seen it. I'm not sure, but I'm going to look it up. But I don't know. But I know I've seen Antoine Fisher, and I might watch them both again, because like I said, it might just really inspire me to get busy and get going. Just talking to this director has inspired me. So yeah. So yeah. So that's it. I think I've read all the chat comments. We're at 10:15 almost, some seconds away. So I think here would be a good place to end. I will try to get some written information out. If you're on my email list, I'll try to send something there. I'm not saying it's the weekend. Remember Sunday, I'm taking Sundays off. I will be working on my stuff tomorrow. I'm going to be cutting my batting for my quilts and getting my backings tomorrow. So I'm going to be working on my own projects. But one day next week, I will make sure that I get the information you all need about both of these drives. If you don't get it from me, hold me accountable on Wednesday, because sometimes a girl forget when I get busy doing something else. A girl forgets. And again, I'm a one-person shop. I don't have nobody to do nothing, so I have to handle what happens first. So that's why I've been taking Sundays off. If it's not Scrap Club Sunday, I take Sundays off so that I can try to do some stuff for myself or just chill if I want to. But yes, I'm going to be working on my own projects. I'm going to be doing that. So that's going to be it for tonight, y'all. You all stay blessed. Be safe, everyone. And quilt out. See you Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Oops.